Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind. My Deadlights.
Welcome to the Deadlights podcast, Mini. I'm your host, Mini Sam.
I'm Mini Dish.
Mini.
Like the Roadrunner.
We could be cartoons with him for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can get anvils dropped on us.
That's the Arizona bird.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
And that in Chicago too.
They literally go, "Meow." Oh, really?
No. I mean, I was just saying there is now because you brought it here.
I brought them here.
You brought them.
I exported a bunch of Roadrunners.
Meh. No.
They're fucking fast. Anyways.
Anyway, welcome to the 20th episode of our season.
Woo!
Season 2. Our 55th episode of
The
the
whole
series.
thing.
The whole thing. The whole shebang. And this is always a fun one because we get to go back and look at the last 10 movies that we reviewed and we rank them. We do that tough job of saying which ones we like the best. And again, to reiterate, these are just personal picks.
Yeah.
And it can be based off whatever we individually are feeling at the time. And if you feel so inclined, let us know your favorite picks from the last 10. I want to hear.
You know our phone number now, right?
Give us a call.
You saved it on your contacts in your phone.
Deadlights. Call us. Tell us what you think about the last 10 movies, your rankings. I'd love to hear them.
I would love to hear them too.
Yeah.
Because, I want to know if anybody liked a particular movie that's on this list.
I'm very curious. I mean, it's a really good list. I will read down the last 10 movies that we watched real quick for everyone. Starting with X, Magic, Hellraiser, There's Someone Inside Your House, Paranormal Activity, Scream, Sweeney Todd, Cocaine Bear, The Black Cat, and The Pale Blue Eye. What a list. What a list. Looking at this list, I put the years down too. There's a lot of within this decade, within this century, like 2000 and up, actually, within here. 2000 and up. And we actually start with a movie from 2022 and we ended with a movie from 2022.
Oh,
so we're really
interesting.
Really bookending this.
We did.
This 10 for sure.
Well,
do you have any idea? It's really tough, honestly, y'all. It's tough.
I think what I'm having a hard time with is I quite enjoyed a majority of this. I was gonna say all, but I was like, take that back. I enjoyed a lot of these. Were they my favorite? Is what I'm having struggle with. I can tell you probably one that it surprised me.
Sure.
I was very surprised with Scream.
Nice. Scream.
Yeah.
One of my faves.
I just literally thought it was going to be worse than it was, and at least this one isn't. I know the ones nowadays probably a little more so.
This is the classic one, the 1996 version, OG, and I'm glad we got to fit in the pod, too.
Yeah. I would probably say that Sweeney Todd has more slashes than Scream did. And I thought
more
the
blood.
way
Yeah.
that Sweeney Todd was as bloody and slashy, I thought that was going to be Scream.
Interesting.
It
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah, because it's built up like that, and I think that it does a great job of letting your imagination fill in that blank because it's just made well, and it's made by a master of horror, Wes Craven. So,
And I mean,
makes
and
sense.
we have a very memorable character, which is Shaggy. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's great. Matthew Lillard is fantastic in that movie.
Absolutely created I think a lure.
Yes.
A cult
Absolutely.
following after that for him exclusively.
And exclusively him. And then obviously Ghostface too is an iconic horror image. So it just
You will never not sell that costume.
never. It'll always be there. It's on the horror Mount Rushmore. You know, I would say.
I am very interested. What are the other three faces?
Ghostface, probably Michael Myers. Yeah. Jason. Freddy.
And Freddy.
I think that's got to be it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple we can maybe make an argument for, but I think that's probably my picks.
There's 2 people in full-on masks.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
So that's going to be a really funny mountain.
Let's take a look at it now. I hope I can somehow make that image.
Oh, that'd be really
That'd
fun.
be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great. All right, I should probably give one.
Give one.
I should give one. I need to give one right now. I think I'm also going to go with one that surprised me as well.
Ooh.
Kind of took me off guard, which I wanted to mention Magic. The Anthony Hopkins one, which is... It was very... I mean, we talked about it in the episode. It's pretty dated in some of the acting and some of the writing, but it's another one that surprised me in how the story was told and what it was actually kind of about. I thought it was just going to be about a dummy like running around just like killing people, and he has to stop it. But it really more became about like, is this guy crazy?
Is this person well?
Yeah, is Anthony Hopkins insane? Because yes, he was for sure. But was there any magic?
Yeah.
Was there actually something supernatural going on? And that was a question that we were left with in the end. And I was not expecting that from that movie at all.
That movie definitely kickstarted a interest to write an ending for a movie. Mm-hmm. And, when you write, you usually write from beginning to end. You don't write from end to beginning.
Mm-hmm.
There are some stories told that way. So
very true.
I am fascinated to see what I can do with it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like... And also, got to mention that Anthony Hopkins was great. He was insane.
What a crazy character.
But it was great.
Yeah.
He really was off the walls in that.
Yeah. Glad you mentioned magic.
Yeah. Yeah, magic. How about you? All right. Number 2 for you.
Number 2. Now, this is getting tough because I want to talk about several others.
Yeah. I'll put music here, like the thinking music. So there's something to listen to while we think.
I want to say, God. I want to say, oh, God.
This is proof to anyone listening or watching that we really don't consider it.
No.
We don't consider it at all before we even start recording.
We're like, no, we're going to talk about it during the pod, but then it is a lot of like inner thinking, inner monologues of like, okay, well, I can talk about this one for this reason, this one for that reason. Mm-hmm. Okay, you know what? I want to say. I just want to say it. The Pale Blue Eye.
The Pale Blue Eye.
I'm gonna.
Our most recent film.
The most recent film.
Cool. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you said something. Honestly.
That sounded like sarcasm.
No, I swear. I'm glad you mentioned the movie. That's what I was saying.
This one. I didn't think I was gonna like it.
It's another one.
Did.
Yeah, it's another one.
And I really, really did.
Mm-hmm.
So for all the reasons, that we mentioned previously, the acting I think was phenomenal. I think that's what won me over the most, because I was able to like understand the poeticness of the script.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like. One thing I didn't mention in the episode is that I enjoy that there wasn't a lot. Actually, I think you mentioned it. There's not a lot of like poetry that was used to like be very like filtrated with poems that you're just like, ugh. Because then otherwise it would have sound like what a musical would sound like of just it being just a song.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
It didn't feel like heavy-handed and like
No, but there was just
Look
like
at it.
lines
yes,
sprinkled throughout, and I was like, oh my God.
yeah,
Because in comparison to the Black Cat, that had some poems in there that I was just like, okay, this doesn't fit the tonality of the script at all. We can tell that it was like a line
yes.
that
And
wasn't written by you.
and delivered in a very more theatrical, more flat way. Whereas I agree, the Pale Blue Eye did a great job because the acting was so good. The poetry seemed more understandable because they were emoting what they were saying. And yeah, no, I was genuine in saying I'm glad you said the Pale Blue Eye because
I'm glad you said it.
I'm glad you freaking said it. No, because I agree. It was a very well made movie, and it snuck in right there at the end.
Yeah.
Of our 10 list. So good,
I like
good one, Pale Blue Eye.
that.
I'm winking for the listeners.
Blummer.
All right. Oh man, I'm struggling so hard between two for my second one.
I think I know which one.
I know.
At least one of them. Oh, I think I know the two.
Okay. I think for my number 2, I gotta go.
Throw up?
I'm gonna go Hellraiser for number 2.
Oh.
I mean, I knew this one was gonna be on my list somewhere, but not really sure where in the rankings. But yeah, I mean, this has been one of my favorite ones for a long time. I've been wanting us to pull it. Somehow we did. And
It was definitely the horror gods they were listening.
they were looking down
They
for
were
sure.
listening.
They were looking out. And I mean, it just has a lot of things that I really like in horror movies, and especially the practical effects.
Oh yeah.
I remember seeing a lot of those scenes of the practical effects for the first time and just really being in awe of some of those techniques that they were using, and for it being, from the 80s and just like still sticking with me. I'm just like, wow. It really
Whoa.
wow. It's just really one of those movies that gets to me. I like it.
Yep. I agree. To like have a puddle of goo and blood and a body submerging from it in the house is pretty incredible. And I want to know how many hours it took
Oh my
to get him
God.
into that prosthetic.
Or days. Oh, prosthetic. I thought you were talking about that scene. I'm sorry. It took days for him to get in that prosthetic. You don't even want to know how long it takes to get out. Years.
He died in it.
Yeah, he's buried. It's permanent.
Oh God.
And then, going with that, another iconic horror image, Pinhead,
Oh
That's-
yeah.
That's very true.
We've talked about him throughout our career.
Our entire lives.
Our entire lives.
He's been with us forever.
Your life is your career. Your
My life
career.
is my career. My career is my life. Drone, worker, drone.
Damn.
Sorry, I was revealed as.
Oh no.
Oh no, I'm a worker drone.
Sorry, I outed you.
Yeah, thanks.
You're
a
a
lot.
robot.
Anyway, Hellraiser. Shout out to you, baby.
Hellraiser.
Clive Barker. Kill it.
Kill it. Murder.
Murder.
Oh God. Now it's my turn.
Yeah, to your number 1? Yeah, your number 1.
My number 1.
Yeah, oh gosh. Sorry, you have to go first.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with what my horror gods responded with. And I'm gonna say Paranormal Activity.
Hell yes.
Are there better movies than this out there? Absolutely. But this one, I think it just holds a little place in my heart because of the tender age I was. And I didn't know whether it was real or not, because that's how they marketed it. And as a child and not knowing much about technology and movies, movie magic. Yeah, I was terrified. I was terrified of these camcorder kind of movies. It's a different style. that I'd never seen, and it kickstarted a whole genre of these kind of films that I still quite enjoy when it's done well and tastefully.
Yes. I'm very happy that you mentioned that. Again, genuinely saying that. Because this was the other movie I was thinking about for my number 2.
Oh, really?
So I'm glad you said it.
I thought your number 2 was between Hellraiser and X.
Maybe we'll talk about that later. Maybe. But yeah, no, I agree. And going to that, I remember when it came out too and being really scared of it. And then when we watched it again, I actually was scared of it still.
Ooh.
It's still like is tense and you feel the tension building, and they do such a good job with such a little budget. And
the acting.
And the acting was great. It just goes to show how little you need to tell a good story.
Yeah.
And then for it to kickstart, like you said, a whole genre for years is just a testament to how effective it is. So yes, Paranormal Activity. Yes.
And God damn, my throat. You have to also kind of, with that, I would say it's just as hard to film something in such a low quality is not the word I want to say.
Yeah,
but
like low resolution or appearingly
or
so.
just like not doing too much with it. Because then you're like, is this enough? Like, am I providing too little information, or does this angle work for this? Like, is it abstract enough? So in a way, it is a challenge itself to not do too much or too little when you just don't have the resources to make it anything big.
And writing that line, honestly, is difficult too, where you're like not wanting to do too much so it appears like it is real.
Staged or something.
Exactly. But doing just enough to make it scary. So, yeah, they ride that line great.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, God. Number one?
Number one.
Well, I mean, I think we should talk about it. Let's talk about X.
Yeah.
X is a fun one. I think X for me is a good representation of like a filmmaker that loves horror movies making a horror movie and like throwing a bunch of stuff in there that he clearly loves from really, really good horror movies that have already come out. So it is like kind of an homage to horror movies in so many ways. And so watching it is so fun because you get to be like, oh, that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, that's Michael Myers. Like, there's so many different elements. And then you kind of like, he takes it and then switches it on its head with everything being so sexualized. And then the sex is actually the thing that is scary and that you want to avoid in it. Awesome and very smart switch to kind of evolve the genre, I guess.
And it is pretty interesting to gather similar scenes from things that you love and kind of replicating it, because then like we know where it's coming from, so is it creative enough? You know, like, is this copywriting in a way? But I think you can see the love. He is never saying, hey, I'm the sole creator of this particular thing. And it's like, no. We all know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So it's intentional, and it's like a little treat.
Yes.
And I think that's what I really like these films about. Or like when people can, clearly show their love and appreciation. And it doesn't feel like you're being cheap by doing the same thing.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like a moment where we all can share the love for that thing.
And be like, woo,
Like, yeah, get it.
Get it.
We see you, Ty West. Yeah, I mean, that had to be on my list somewhere too because it does such a good job of tipping the hat to so many things that I personally love in the horror genre. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, damn. It was a good
run.
Good run these last 10. Damn.
Yeah,
wow.
and I just want to mention just a special shout out to Cocaine Bear.
Honorable mention. Let's each get an honorable mention in here.
My honorable mention is Cocaine Bear.
I love that.
I just think it was so much fun to have nature be, you know, our monster, but like the true essence was just what the humans were creating.
Yeah.
And I love how we just went extreme. If we were gonna have an animal do drugs, the children are gonna do drugs, the adults are gonna accidentally do drugs. Like everybody in this film was doing cocaine. Man, what a fun ride that was.
Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that too because
you're just so happy.
I'm so glad you mentioned it. How many times can I say it before you believe it? No, I'm not glad you mentioned it. Because I was gonna mention it. That's what I was gonna say. It was such a fun movie. It was a fun ride.
It was so much
fun. Didn't take itself too seriously, and that was kind of the point. And everyone was on drugs. We felt like we were on drugs, and it was a fun ride.
It was so much fun.
Fun ride, run around with that cocaine bear.
The scene of the like clearly person in a suit and just grabs the celery and carrot.
Mm-hmm.
And that scene in itself is just like, okay, you are not going to take your seriously.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because had to do it again. Had to do it one more time.
No.
That's it. No.
Oh, you killed me.
All
I'm
right.
dead.
Shit.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, everybody.
Until the next
Thanks.
10. God
Yeah.
damn.
10
till 30.
more to go.
10 more to go until I'm glad to bring more things
You're
up.
just so glad.
I'm so glad.
Yep.
I'm so glad.
I'm glad for everything we mentioned. We mentioned in this last 10 episodes. So thanks for sticking around, everybody.
See you soon.
Call us. 773-669-6677. Tell us if you agree or disagree. Tell us. Just tell us. And you can find me on Color Me Leslie.
And me at Beep Beep Richie T.
Beep beep.
And us at The Deadlights Pod.
The Deadlights Pod.
Also check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we're recording this at.
We're here.
But until next time, let's get
mini spooky.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
I'm glad.